Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Bullock. This is mainly for kids who are remote, or if you're at home and you're in person and you're like, snap, I didn't finish this. This is just some information about the study guide that I have posted online for you guys, for remote kids. I typed it out in the module for today, January 5th. You'll be able to do this today and tomorrow, but I wanted to go through some of the terms. The first term is monotheism. And it is belief in one God. Now, I know some kids who are remote do have a textbook, some do not. So that's why I'm trying to help you out, because the online textbook's a little hard to get through or to sign up for to get on. So monotheism is a belief in one God. Remember, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all believe in one God, the same God. The next question on the study guide was the location of Egypt and the Nile River. And remember, Egypt and the Nile River is in northern Africa. And actually, the Nile River runs down through, goes through Egypt, down through Sudan to the eastern part of Africa. So Egypt, okay, North Africa, all right? And then the Nile River runs down through Egypt and down through Sudan. So just in case you're like, oh, I forget that, northern Africa. Other questions that are on there, it says, what's important about the Nile River? Well, the Nile River provided a source of water for ancient Egyptians to build pyramids and to then find fertile soil to grow their crops. Even today, it's a source of water that is needed in Southwest Asia. Southwest Asia depends on that water from the Nile in northern Africa and many sources of water. So I just wanted to answer those two questions, or that one question. Number 4 is apartheid. And apartheid is basically the racial injustice, the separation of white South Africans and black South Africans in the country of South Africa. And we talked about this this second quarter, about what happened in South Africa and how Nelson Mandela led or fought that fight peacefully to end apartheid, racial segregation in the country of South Africa. The second or the fifth question is about genocide. In the continent of Africa, you have genocide, which is a mass destruction of individuals based on their ethnic group, religion, their belief system. And we talked about that in Darfur, Sudan, and Rwanda, where you have this complete mass destruction, the Lost Boys of Sudan. So that is that term, genocide. Then Pharaoh. Pharaoh goes with ancient Egyptians. The pharaohs, remember, were considered almost gods, kings in ancient Egypt. And they would have the pyramids built, and on the pyramids, they would have the hieroglyphics and treasures built with them for the mummification process, because they believed in a very strong afterlife. Desertification is the spreading of the desert in North Africa, and it's spreading the Sahara Desert down into the tropical areas. And that really is caused by lack of vegetation and erosion, because people are starting to build and take out some of those plants and tree life. Mosque, remember, is the place of worship for people who are Islamic. Ecotourism. Ecotourism is something in South Africa, or all of Africa actually, Kenya, Tanzania. They're trying to build programs now where they are trying to, as tourists come into the country, those different countries, they're trying to help them understand why it is so important to preserve the environment and to help the animals. So it's kind of a part of their trip. Like, let's educate them on, eco-friendly things that happen or should happen in the continent of Africa. The next one is Great Rift Valley. This is right in the heart of East Africa, and it's kind of hard to see here, but it's in East Africa down here, and it's like a rip that has occurred in Eastern Africa, and it's caused by tectonic plates shifting back and forth. This is something that we covered in the second quarter. Theocracy is basically where religion controls the government, and you see a lot of that in certain areas in Southwest Asia, and different parts in Africa. So theocracy. Secularism is the separation of church and state or government, which you see within our country. Suez Canal. Suez Canal is in the heart of North Africa. It's between Africa and Africa, that don't make sense. Africa, Lord have mercy. Egypt and Southwest Asia. The Suez Canal was built to let ships come in and out to kind of help those larger ships get through that canal, provides trade, and that Suez Canal actually connects the Mediterranean Sea, which is between northern Africa and the continent of Europe. The next one is Nelson Mandela, and I went through Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela fought to make sure that the end of apartheid happened. He was in prison for fighting peacefully. Once he was released, he then became the president, the first black president of the country of South Africa. Okay, the next one is African National Congress. And African National Congress, or ANC, really fought the hard fight to end apartheid and to bring unity to the continent of Africa. Human Development Index, HDI, is what they measure. They look at education, literacy, they look at standard of living, they look at GDP, they look at how technology is being used in that country, and they use those things to measure how people live, the standard of living, medical services. So it's very important for economists to determine if this country is developed or if it is not developed. A gross domestic product is when you take all the goods and services produced and sold and you add it up and you divide by the overpopulation, and this is the amount that you come up with that helps people determine if that country is a high standard of living. GDP is all goods and services made in that country, and they take it and they add it up and they have an amount. It's important to have a large amount for that country. I said monotheism, belief in one God. Dictatorship is where you have one person who has total control of that country and rules with an iron fist. Dictatorships are in certain parts of Africa, and you see it today in North Korea. Mediterranean Sea, like I said before, is right above North Africa and Europe. Okay, I also touch base on the different holy books of each religion. Remember, Christianity is Bible, Judaism is Islam, and, Judaism is the Torah, and Islam is the Quran. Advantages of the Aswan High Dam. Remember, the Aswan High Dam was built in Egypt, and it was there to provide water, a source of water for those people in Egypt. But there were some disadvantages. It brought pollution, and it also took up land from the animals. So there were some issues. Whenever you build structures, there's going to be problems. Achievements in ancient Egypt along the Nile River. Remember, we talked about the mummification process, the incredible architecture of pyramids, and the hieroglyphics, which is that ancient writing on those walls. In Southwest Asia, which is the Middle East, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, this country is lacking water, and they're lacking arable land because it's covered by desert. So they really had to, obviously oil and petroleum are their number one products. But over time, they realize that they're going to have to diversify, which means they're going to have to start coming up with other things to help their country to make money. And so they have to. So remember Southwest Asia, we just started on it. We did a map. You did a map test right before Christmas break. But this covered by desert, remember we talked about predominantly Islamic, Israel is predominantly Jewish. So that kind of helps you with the study guide that I provided today, my video. Look at it, especially if you're remote. Have a great day. Thank you.